An exemption that allows Canadian retailers to ship their products to the United States duty-free is set to end tomorrow. It's called the de minimis exemption, and it was targeted by U.S. President Donald Trump in an executive order he signed back in July. As Paula Duhacek reports, small businesses in Canada say they are the ones who'll pay the price.
So all our best sellers get put right close to our packing station.
The end of the de minimis exemption could mean a big hit to sales for this Brampton clothing maker. Right now, about half its online orders are to customers in the U.S.
Americans love your t-shirts.
They love our t-shirts.
Tell me about your hoodies.
These hoodies, t-shirts, and sweatpants are 100% made in North America, with U.S. cotton knit, dyed, and cut right here in Canada. But even so, the end of this critical trade exemption means he expects to pay significant new fees to get the product into the U.S.
As little as the shipment is valued at, even if it's $50, there's a nearly $20 fee to just get it across the border. So that, that will bring about a lot of resistance from U.S. clients. I'm sure we'll lose customers.
It's still very hard.
This trade lawyer says the end of de minimis is a big deal. Up till now, companies could send up to $800 worth of goods into the U.S. duty-free, but thanks to an executive order from U.S. President Donald Trump, that exemption is ending Friday.
It hits so-called mom and pop shops disproportionately. And many of them who have relied on these low-value shipments to the United States as part of their bread and butter for survival are being hit by this.
That could be the reality for this Vancouver-based retailer.
There's definitely a chance the business doesn't survive this.
She's trying to make sense of the new rules, but in the meantime is taking drastic measures.
We have cut off all of our shipping to the United States because right now, with the amount of risk and lack of information shipping to the States, we can't justify it.
The Canadian Apparel Federation says it will be a big adjustment for businesses to move forward in a world without de minimis. For now, this t-shirt maker is mulling its next move, which will likely involve a renewed focus on the Canadian consumer. Paula Duhacek, CBC News, Brampton, Ontario.
I want to introduce you to Cal Green, who's the founder of Raised by Wolves in Ottawa, and he is right there in his studio. Cal, I appreciate your coming in to talk to us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Heather. Thanks for having me.
And you've given us the backdrop so we can envisage your business, but tell me first of all a little bit about Raised by Wolves and what your company makes and sells.
So Raised by Wolves is a Canadian streetwear brand. We're based in Ottawa, founded in 2008, so it's been over 17 years now. The majority of our clothing is produced in Canada, but to diversify the product line, we have started going overseas. So those are the products that we're going to be talking about today.
Okay, and behind me, I'm seeing some, sweatshirts and cool items, clothing material, and what you're wearing, obviously. And would those price point wise be each of those under $800?
Yes, individually these products are under $800, but our customers in the States are often ordering multiple pieces. So
sure.
Yeah.
But if someone was to order one of them, you would up until now be able to ship that across duty free. How much of your business to this point, Cal, has gone to the United States?
A few years ago, the U.S. was our biggest market. I would say at least 50% of our sales were there. At the moment, Canadian sales are higher, but U.S. sales are about 25 to 30% of our business.
And as of tomorrow, how much more is it going to cost you to ship that part of the business, those goods, to the United States?
Well, as a small business, I can't really afford to take on the cost myself, so I'm going to have to pass that on to the customers in the States. I think a lot of them are going to be shocked by that, and we'll see what the reactions are. But I'm looking into alternative solutions. That at the end of the day, these tariffs are just going to increase costs across the board.
It's come back to the idea of the solutions you're working on, but when you talk about your customers, that makes me think that maybe they don't know what's coming. Is this going to take your customers by surprise?
I believe so. I think the retailers are used to importing goods, so they are likely aware of this, although their orders are over 800 in general. So I think customers, as you mentioned, have been ordering from us for years, and I think they're going to be a little shocked. So I'm going to do my best to educate them and let them know that this is coming, and really point out that a lot of our stuff is made in Canada. But, if they order a couple of hoodies and a pair of socks, the hoodies are made in Canada. If they order one pair of socks that's made in China, it could be blanket tariffed at, a higher rate. So it's unfortunate.
Do you think you're going to lose American business as a result of this, Cal?
I anticipate there's going to be a decline in sales. I think it's inevitable, but at the same time, I think there are very few made in America, American-owned, made in the States brands. A lot of the streetwear brands in my industry produce overseas as well. So it's going to affect customers, not just my customers, but customers of this industry in general.
And I'm wondering, I've been mentioning this, the system, the de minimis has been in place for decades. So you got into this, thinking you were going to be able to ship that part of your business duty free. How do you feel about it all changing tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. At the end of the day, I might lose some sales, but I'm going to do my best to find a solution for my longtime customers in the States. But at the end of the day, we are a Canadian business, and I'm going to try and lean into more Canadian manufacturing, Canadian partnerships, collaborations, that kind of thing. So, I'm just going to kind of focus on home for now.
Domestic sales are going to take on even greater importance. Well, the timing is great because certainly we're talking about how Canadians are wanting to buy Canadian. So this may be opportune from that perspective too. But is the loss in U.S. sales, do you think losing sales there enough that you would ever face the prospect of losing your business?
I don't think so. I'm hoping that, Canadians, hopefully by this interview, more Canadians will discover the brand and support us. But I encourage Canadians to support each other, whatever kind of business it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna put the business under. It's definitely gonna affect the bottom line. But I've been through worse, I think. So I'll just keep going.
Okay. You sound resigned to the whole thing. I'm glad to know, because you heard in introducing you, some of the experts are thinking some of the mom and pop businesses in Canada may in fact be put out of business by what's going to take effect tomorrow. Has there been any conversation with you and other small businesses, either that kind of line of work or just similar retailers, just in terms of what you're all having to deal with now?
Yeah, everyone's concerned for sure. I'm good friends with a lot of business owners who are doing the best to pivot and adjust their sales strategy for the States. And yeah, I think the smaller businesses are really going to suffer. The bigger businesses can kind of eat the costs, but the ones that have a lot of sales in the States are going to have to rethink. And as we talked about before, I think customers are going to be caught off guard because I don't know if the average American consumer is aware that this is happening.
Well, we'll have to follow up on things once they learn as of tomorrow that things are going to change pretty significantly. Listen, Cal, I really appreciate that. Hopefully the domestic market will come through for you, those domestic sales, and really appreciate your giving us some time this morning. Cal Green, thank you.
Thanks, Heather.